Hello, Tyler Ford here, Tucson, Arizona, eXp Realty, and welcome to this episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the Tucson housing market report for July 2021. And this episode's a little bit different. I'm on the road traveling on a family vacation and I'm inside my RV, but I really didn't want to miss putting out this episode because I think the market is slowly starting to shift. And I'm going to go over our numbers and show you some leading indicators as to why I think this market is slowly starting to shift. The first thing I want to talk about, and I've never really explained it, so each and every month, TAR, the Tucson Association of Realtors, puts out the housing market report for the previous month. And it goes over a really detailed, you can click in the show notes below to get the more detailed report. But one of the things that they look at is they look at year over year comparison. And year over year, things look really, really good. We're way up from the previous year. But what I'm looking at and more focused on is more month to month, as I think we're getting closer to a market shift here. So I'm going to point out some things that have changed month to month, not year to year, that indicates to me that we're starting to slow down and we may be seeing a shift in the market, more back to more of a neutral market or more of a buyer's market rather than a seller's market that we've been in for a long period of time. So I'm going to go over some numbers, but I'm going to point out some key leading indicators that I think as to why we're slowly starting to shift and this market is slowing down. The first number I want to talk about is what we call percentage of list, and that is what sellers are getting based on a percentage of what their list price. And in a normal market, percentage of list is anywhere from 92 to 97%. So it's been unheard of in all of 30 years that I've been a licensed agent here in Tucson. I've never seen the percentage of list over 100%. And we're going on, I think, the fourth consecutive month where the percentage of list is over 100%. And this month's percentage of list was 101.9%. So sellers are getting 1.9% above their list price. And again, unheard of. I've not seen it, but we'll see what happens here. Again, I'm seeing some indications that the market's starting to slow, and we'll keep you posted on the percentage of list. The next number I want to talk about is what we call days on market, and that is from the time somebody lists a home that it goes under contract, not from the time somebody lists till it actually sells. So the average days on market for single family homes for July 2021 was 12 days. And the previous month, it was 12 days as well. So year over year, that number's down by over more than 60%. But month to month, it's the first month in a while where days on market hasn't actually gone down. And so for townhomes and condos, it was 12 days. And the previous month, it was 9 days. So it actually went up by 3 days. And it's the first time in a while where we've seen that number tick up slightly. So again, month to month, the numbers are starting to show signs of change, where if you look at year to year, it still looks really, really good. So I'm going to be focusing on some month to month numbers rather than year to year. The next number I want to talk about is what we call months of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were listed in the MLS, how long would it take for all the inventory to be sold? And this month's number was 0.9. So if no other homes were to hit the MLS, all the inventory in the MLS would be sold in about 16 to 17 days. But again, if you look at month to month rather than year to year, it's the first time that number's not gone down in about 4 to 5 months. So again, we're seeing some signs of stabilizing and those numbers starting to flatten and not go down, but rather starting to tick up month to month. Let's look at average sales price. What are home sales prices doing? And this is the first month in a while where they've actually gone down slightly. So year over year, we're still looking really good. Single family homes are up by more than 20%, and townhomes and condos are up well over 30%. But again, month to month, that number's actually gone down. So this month for single family homes, the average sales price was $407,621. But it's down 4% from the previous month. So this is the first time in a while where the average sales price for single family homes has actually gone down rather than gone up. Year over year, we're still way up, but month to month, we're down by 4%. And townhomes and condos, the average sales price was $233,915. And that number is down by 4% as well. So year over year, still way up. Month to month, it's the first time in a while where the average sales price has actually gone down slightly by 4% for both single family homes and townhomes and condos. This next number is one that I look at all the time, and to me it's the leading indicator, and that is home inventory levels. It's supply and demand economics 101. The less supply, more demand, drive prices up. And, with rising inventory, that actually stabilizes prices or can reduce them based on the amount of supply of home inventory that actually hits the market. So if you look at the number year to year, it looks really good. We're still way down. But this is the first month in a while where single family home inventory for July 2021 has actually ticked up slightly. It's the first time that it hasn't gone down drastically in quite some time. So for single family homes listed in the MLS, there were 1,109 active single family homes listed in the MLS, and townhomes and condos 144, and that number was about the same. And again, month over month, it's actually been going down. So this is the first time in a while where it's actually not gone down and been about the same. So total homes listed in the MLS, single family homes, townhomes and condos, we're at 1,253 active listings in the MLS. And a healthy supply and demand, in my opinion, for the Tucson market is anywhere from probably 2,500 to 3,500. So we're still well below those numbers. And it's still a seller's market in terms of just the amount of supply based on demand. But again, month over month, from what I'm seeing from previous month to this month, there is some signs of slowing based on inventory levels slowly starting to tick up. So it's something you definitely want to keep an eye on, and that is what inventory levels are doing. So those are some of the key numbers that I actually look at. You can go down in the show notes for the more detailed and get an in-depth look at the Tucson housing market report. But again, what I'm looking at is month to month rather than year to year, and just starting to see some signs of slowing. If you're a buyer out there and you've been frustrated, I feel your frustration. I get it. But I do think things are starting to shift and slow down. And I would encourage you just to be patient and not chase the top end of what I think this market is. If you're an FHA or a VA buyer, I would encourage you to work to save more money and work towards putting 20% down to avoid mortgage insurance and keeping your payment at a manageable level, and also saving enough money to weather a storm when and if this market does shift. Something else to think about, typically in Tucson, end of July, August, first part of September, our market does slow down. Families are on vacation, they're coming back, school's starting up, so families are super busy, and the winter visitors haven't yet come back. So mid-September, as the weather cools off and winter visitors come back, our market tends to pick back up again. So I would encourage you, if you're a buyer, just be patient and not chase the top end of this market. And if you're a seller, in my opinion, it's a great time to sell, because I do think this market is slowly starting to shift. Keep in mind, we have a 16-foot box moving truck that if you use us to buy or sell a home, you're more than welcome to use our truck. And then also after the fact, if you use us down the road, if you ever need to move appliances, furniture, pick up things at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're more than welcome to use our moving truck. Hope you like this video on the Tucson housing market report. If you found it of value, please go ahead, give me an internet high five by liking the video. If you have any questions, go ahead, comment below, and we will get back to you. And you can also subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos on living in Tucson and Tucson real estate.